I'm in my Tesla Model Y rear-wheel drive, and I made a video recently about the average efficiency on this car because I hadn't reset the trip for over 2 years and 23,000 miles. And the average efficiency has been 263.3 watt hours per mile, which is 3.79 miles per kilowatt hour, which I don't think is particularly good for a rear-wheel drive Model Y. But the reason for that video was I was saying that the Tesla uses energy while the car isn't being driven, particularly for things like Sentry mode. But I got that wrong. That figure in trips apparently is only driven miles. Well, it's the driven miles plus your climate control. So actually, there's a whole load of other energy that the Tesla consumes, which isn't included in this. So the average efficiency is going to be an awful lot worse than that 3.79 miles per kilowatt hour.
My car is a 2024 Tesla Model Y rear-wheel drive with hardware 3. Under the current model naming, this would be equivalent to the premium version. It has a 62.5 kilowatt-hour LFP battery with CATL cells and a usable capacity of 60 kilowatt-hours. The car was built in the Shanghai factory at the end of October 2023, but VIN coded as a 2024 model.
So there's a way we can calculate this. If we go into the Tesla app and go down to charging and then go to charge statistics, we can look at the total amount of energy that the car has charged per year. So we can swipe left and right. So in 2026, it's used 1,077 kilowatt hours of energy. And my total spend here is correct. I've done 94% of the charging at Superchargers, and I get free Supercharging on this car. And I've done 5% at home. And then we can swipe left to get previous years, but this is where it doesn't work very well. Anyway, it's worked now. So we've got 2025. I've used 3,025 kilowatt hours. And yes, the car's only cost me £21 to run in the year. In fact, it's less than that because I was on Agile then, well, for part of the year, and I only plugged it in at home when the electricity price was negative. So I was actually getting paid for a lot of this. So that £21 is probably zero, or actually I earned money. But anyway, we can then swipe left again. And we've used 4,408 kilowatt hours in 2024. There was more charging here. It said I've spent £62 in a year on electricity, but this actually was all on Agile, and all of that blue home charging there was when it was negative. So that £62 would be actually a completely different number, and actually I've earned money from the car then, but anyway, we will ignore that. And then swipe left again. And I picked this car up on the 5th or 6th of December in 2023 when it was new. So it had a little bit of supercharging of 577 kilowatt hours in that year. So if we add all that together, that's a total of 9,087 kilowatt hours of energy that has been put in this car. And today I've done 27,045 miles. So a simple bit of division tells us this car has averaged 2.98 miles per kilowatt hour over the 2.5 years and 27,045 miles, which, to be honest, isn't great. But it is being skewed a little bit because I picked this car up
in December 2023
and we're now in April 2026. So this average has been over 3 winters, but only 2 summers. And of course, if you use all these features in a Tesla, particularly while you're parked up, of course, you're going to consume energy and it's going to lower your average efficiency. And I do. I use all the tools a lot, particularly YouTube, Netflix. And so that's why this car is averaging 2.98 miles per kilowatt hour.
This channel has had over 15 million views, yet only has 40,000 subscribers, whereas it should be 3 to 4 times that, because over 90% of the viewers are not subscribed. Please do. It's completely free. It's only a click for you, and it really does help.
But on all review videos, when they're talking about the range and efficiency of Teslas, they're looking at individual trips. And yes, the rear-wheel drive is a very efficient car if you're looking at just a trip. And we can look at that in the consumption page here in the energy app. So over the last 10 miles, this car has consumed 2.5 kilowatt hours of energy over 10 miles. And that's 4 miles per kilowatt hour. Over the last 100 miles, it's used 22.4 kilowatt hours, and that's 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour. And then over 200 miles, it's consumed 45.8 kilowatt hours of energy, and that's 4.4 miles per kilowatt hour on average. But that's a little bit irrelevant because we've got to look at the total amount of energy the car has consumed, and that should include all the amount of energy that it consumes while the vehicle is parked up using Sentry mode, preconditioning, and things like YouTube, Netflix, dog mode, and all the other features the Tesla has. So do you think 2.98 miles per kilowatt hour over 27,000 miles is reasonable for a Tesla Model Y? But in reality, does the efficiency really matter if you charge at home overnight on cheap rate electricity? Most people have been paying 7 pence per kilowatt hour at night. That's recently dropped this month. I think in my area it's 5.3p now. I know some other areas of the UK it's down to 3 pence per kilowatt hour. So when you're paying so little at night to charge an EV, the efficiency doesn't really matter actually. But of course, if you can't charge your car at home overnight on a cheap rate tariff and you're reliant on public charging, then you're paying anything from 5 to 10 times more than that. So then the efficiency of the car really does matter.
If you do 8,000 miles a year, the difference between an EV averaging 4 miles per kilowatt hour and one averaging 3 miles per kilowatt hour depends on where you do the bulk of your charging. If you charge at home at 6.5 pence per kilowatt hour, it will only cost you £44 a year more, but that rises to £273 a year more if you're charging on Tesla Superchargers at 41 pence per kilowatt hour, and £526 more if using other networks at 79 pence. So again, I hope you found this insight useful as to what the real-world, long-term efficiency really is on this rear-wheel drive Model Y. The reality is it's much lower than reviews and driving comparisons state if you use all the additional features in the car that consume energy while the car is parked. Thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you on the next one. If you liked the video, please do click the thumbs up button, and leaving a comment also helps too. Plus of course subscribe if you're not. If the video saved you time or money, a little support via Ko-fi or the Super Thanks button would mean a lot. There's over 1,300 videos on the channel, so have a browse, use the search, and have a look at the playlists. And here's 2 videos you may want to check out.